All right, so this is a triangle inside another triangle. So let's look at the information that we're given here and make sure that we can identify all of the different pieces. So let's go ahead and start with the measure of angle A. Now the measure of angle A that I'm referring to here, measure of angle A, the measure of angle A is the entire angle, the combination of angle 1 plus angle 2. I'm also told that the length of AB is 575 meters. I'm going to go ahead and write that in right now. That tells us that this side length down here is 575 meters. That is the length of A to B. Now, the next thing I'm told is the entire measure of angle A is 27 degrees. So again, the entire measure of angle A, combination of 1 plus 2, is 27 degrees. And then I'm also told that angle 1 is equal to 10 degrees. Now, what that tells us is that I can go ahead and write in that the measure of this angle here, this is 10 degrees. And because I know the sum of both angle 1 and 2 is 27, that also tells me that angle 2 is equal to 17 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of that information in. Now, with this triangle, what we're actually solving for and what we need to find is the x. X is a little bit difficult with this because you'll notice that it's only part of the big triangle, and we are only allowed to do this triangle because this is 90 degrees here. So you really have a large outside triangle that we can use, and then we have the small inside triangle. So if I look at this, my outside triangle is triangle ADB. The whole angle of angle A is 27 degrees, but we're only looking for this small portion, this from, we don't know what that's C. We're only looking for that X value, not the entire thing. Now, if I go through and look at the smaller triangle on the inside, sorry, it's not to scale. This would also is going to be angle 2, so this stays as 17 degrees. This is still 90, and both lengths from A to B, both lengths from above are 575 meters. So how am I going to go through and solve this? Well, this is two different parts. So step 1 for this is going to be to find BC, this value right here. And we can go ahead and, for this sake, we're just going to go ahead and call that Y. That'll be step 1. Now, step 2 is going to be to find DB, which is the entire length of the outside triangle over here. Step 2 is going to be to find the entire length. And once I have that, I can subtract those two values to find that little missing piece of X. And again, step 3 will be to subtract to find X. All right, so let's go ahead and find the inside triangle first, which is to find BC. So what that means is we're actually going to go ahead and look for solving this as Y. Well, I have an angle. My angle is 70 degrees. I have a side adjacent to this, and I have a side opposite from that. So whenever you have adjacent and opposite, the trig function we use is the tangent, so that the tangent of 17 degrees is equal to Y over 575 meters, or y is equal to 575 times the tangent of 17 degrees. Step 2, I do the same thing over here. I have my angle, I have my opposite side. I'm looking for the entire thing right now. And then my adjacent side. So again, I'm going to go ahead and use the tangent. So I have, in this case, that the tangent of 27 degrees is equal to the entire side length, not x. This is dB, the whole thing, the entire length of this triangle, all over 575. And over here, now I know that dB is equal to 575 times the tangent of 27 degrees. Now, to get x, what do? We subtract those two values, the larger minus the smaller. So when you're using trig functions with all of the decimals related, put everything in the calculator at the same time and you will not have any rounding errors. If you do each of these pieces separately, make sure you write them down to 4 decimal places before you round the final answer. So x is equal to 117.181. The directions at the top of this, my notes say to round to the nearest hundredths. So in this case, we want to round the nearest hundredths, tell me to round to the nearest second decimal place. So we're going to go ahead and make that x is equal to 117.18, and that is a length. So x is 117.18 meters.